layers of fabric to a pleasing symmetry. Let these clothes remind me of my consecration to this life of enclosure, silence, and solitude. She sat at her desk to read through the poem she had written the night before, keeping her up until past midnight, and made a few changes. Then she made her bed and carried her wash basin out to the dormitory bathroom. She walked quietly so as not to wake her sisters, who would not stir for at least another hour. The night light at the end of the hall was shaded with the transparency of a rose window. Its reflection on the polished wood floor fanned out like a peacock's tail. As Sister John emptied the basin into the sink, taking care to avoid splashing, the motion of the water as it spiraled toward the drain triggered a spell of vertigo. It was a welcome sensation. She experienced it as arising from within, as if her spirit could no longer be contained by her body. Wherever you lead me, I will follow. Instead of going to the choir to wait for the others, she returned to her cell, knelt down on the floor again, and unfocused her eyes. Blessed is that servant whom the Master finds awake when he comes. Pure awareness stripped her of everything. She became an ember, carried upward by the heat of an invisible flame. Higher and higher she rose, away from all she knew. Powerless to save herself, she drifted up toward infinity until the vacuum sucked the feeble light out of her. A darkness so pure it glistened. Then out of that darkness, Nova. More luminous than any sun, transcending visibility, the flare consumed everything. It lit up all of existence. In this radiance, she could see forever. And everywhere she looked, she saw God's love. As soon as she could move again, she opened her notebook and began writing. July 29th. Martha. Mother Mary Joseph, the former prioress, kept her hands folded under her scapular and her gaze lowered. She walked close to the wall so as not to draw attention to herself, even though no other sister was present. In spite of being nearly doubled over from osteoporosis and weakened from a recent bout of pneumonia, she still joined the choir for all of the canonical hours. In religion, for 61 years, Mother Mary Joseph was a living rule, a nun who epitomized the highest ideals of contemplative life. Tradition held that if the laws and constitutions of the order were ever lost, they could be recovered simply by watching a living rule pray. She lowered the wooden clapper from its place on the wall, but felt, as always, reluctant to cleave the great silence. God's mystery roared in her ears. The cool, still air felt good against her cheeks, and she gave thanks for that. In a few hours, the sun's heat would test her fortitude, but Mother Mary Joseph thanked God for trials, too. Gratitude must know no limits. She struck the clapper hard. More than just a summons to devotions, it was the voice of Christ calling to his servants. Any sisters who were not already up answered with their knees as they dropped to the floor in their cells. Praised be Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary, his mother. Come to prayer, sisters. Come to praise the Lord. Mother Mary Joseph struck the clapper a second time, then returned it to its place on the wall. She descended a shallow staircase, lifting her habit from the rear to prevent it from brushing against the steps. Causing the fabric to be worn unnecessarily would be a fault against the vow of poverty.